Positive Failing by Crystal Vasquez for Ethics of Business Leadership. I hate to be cliche and quote Einstein, but it's true. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. The founder of the Nobel Prize, Alfred Nobel, blew up his laboratory in his bid to invent dynamite. Michael Jordan, while remembered by history as a winner, lost over 300 games over the course of his career in the NBA. Diana Nyad, the swimmer famous for crossing the Atlantic from Florida to Cuba, attempted the epic swim 5 times. J.K. Rowling was denied by 12 different publishers in her efforts to bring the world of Hogwarts to the masses. Albert Einstein himself was late to speak and read, labeled by his teachers and parents as subnormal, and was refused admission to his first choice of university. It's obvious what all of these individuals have in common. It is the failures of our past that point us in a better direction towards the future. There is a culture of failure in every workplace. It may be thought of in negative tones, it may be shuttered away as if it were an unseemly blight, but it is always there. For much too long, failure has been associated with shame and ineptitude. The primary reason no one likes addressing failure is fear. Fear of judgment, intolerance, reprimand, rejection, loss of support or capital, or just plain being wrong. What more and more progressive companies are discovering is that by owning your failures, you wield a precious tool, one that can ward off the absolute worst-case scenario of repeating your mistakes. If we make the conscious shift to allow room for failure, we take away its power to defeat us. To err is to be human. As sure as you breathe, you will fail at some point during your life. As soon as you embrace this as fact, you remove the largest obstacle between you and your end goal. Paradoxically, failure is the most direct path towards efficiency. It is the incentive to go back to the drawing board. It is the opportunity to make improvements. It is the fuel for perseverance and progress. Although owning your own failure as an individual is a start, it isn't always enough. What makes mistakes such potent teaching tools is when they are shared. This prevents the unnecessary spread of failure. The context of failure can always be manipulated into a learning tool. Depicting your mistakes as an example for others offers the tangible consequence of not getting it right. It also shows that missteps happen to everyone, helping in lessening the stigma of failure. Going a step further from admitting failures is changing your perception about them, turning them from a solely negative concept into one that has the potential to be enlightening and empowering. Famous inventor Thomas Edison states it plainly: just because something doesn't do what you planned it to do, doesn't mean it's useless. Mr. Edison also cheekily reported that he had not failed, but rather he'd just found 10,000 ways that don't work. To perceive failure in this manner is to strip it from its paralyzing-like power to prevent us from returning to task. Turning a negative into a positive is only accomplished first by understanding that failing is part of the innovative process. We in the hospitality industry have the most to gain by creating a culture that is open and honest about failure. Accepting that failure can and will happen will help to swiftly correct costly mistakes from growing in severity. Streamlining the process of failure this way improves overall agility and spur-of-the-moment decision-making, a skill that is invaluable in this field. Businesses shouldn't run on a failure is not an option platform. Exercising tolerance and even valuing the past failures of employees will create an environment more conducive to growth and loyalty than conventional mantras of perfectionism. Someone who claims to never fail probably has little, if any, experience to draw on. This goes back to Einstein. The types of employee that every company should invest in are those who aren't afraid to take calculated risks, for taking risk is the only way to reap reward. This has been my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Catch you later.